My name is Matt Rudisell, and I've been a business owner for the past 24 years, helping others get what they want out of life. I help people and businesses grow with the help of one-on-one coaching, social media assistance, and planning that will get them to that next level. But instead of working with you myself, I developed this podcast to share with you what others are actually doing. These people are your neighbors, your friends, could also be you. But do you consider yourself an expert? Do you know someone who is? Have you ever wondered what it takes to become that person? Well, today in this episode of the Experts Game podcast, our guest will share with you the struggles, hardships, and successes they've experienced on their way to becoming an expert in their field. You don't want to miss it, so grab your notebook and pen, and we'll get started in just a moment. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to the Experts Game podcast. My name is Matt Rudisell, and I'm your host. Today, we are excited to have not one, but two people in the studio, and they are going to tell us their expert story. We are happy to have Rick Greene and Lynn Franks with us. They both are at Revolutionary Fit in Kings Mountain, North Carolina, and I just want to welcome them to the podcast. Welcome, guys. How are you doing?
Hey, doing good.
Good.
Fantastic. Well, I want you to just tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do. And you guys can just take turns or rotate off of each other or whatever you prefer. But let's go ahead and get started with maybe a brief background of you and your business.
Okay.
Ladies first.
I've always been physically active, and I got my first physical fitness certification probably sometime in my 20s before I even had children. I got an aerobics certification, and I really enjoyed teaching small group fitness. I had children that stopped in and out of the gym just personally on my own for years. Always stayed connected in the gym, knew I loved it. In about 2012, I started teaching some fitness classes in Vesper City, what used to be Sports Mill Gym, there with Dawn and Derek Rickus. They encouraged me to get certified, said that I would be a great addition. I met Rick there. We worked through a lot of years together at that gym, just bouncing ideas off of each other and learning and gaining knowledge. I did get certified in 2016. So I've been doing individual personal training and group fitness since that time. It's my passion as a personal trainer to help people achieve optimal health and wellness and overall healthy lifestyle living through fitness and nutrition. I'm 48 years old. I've got two children. I've been married twice. I'm in my second marriage. We've been married 3 years, but been together for 15, I think. I have two children, a son and a daughter, 23 and 20. I work full-time in the financial services industry. And so I bounce between both every day, Monday through Friday. And I just stay really, really busy. And I don't see that I ever want to stop. My only regret is not starting sooner.
Oh, wow. I know that's what a lot of us are doing right now. I mean, we've got the side hustle going. We've got other avenues of income, and I think that's really important as well. Rick, tell me a little bit about yourself and how you kind of got started.
As far as my fitness journey, it began pretty much as a teenager. I was always real skinny, kind of tall and skinny issues and self-confidence issues. And I found that weightlifting, I said, that might be a good opportunity for me to figure out, I can maybe put on some size. I might get some girls in high school to look at me maybe and might get a date here and there. It's kind of scarce at the time. So anyway, that's what led me into starting out lifting. And at a young age, I started out about 18 and started lifting and continued lifting on and said, you know what, I might want to compete as I got a little more size and figured a little bit more about it, but I was still guessing a lot about what the process involved. And so I went from that and started competing. And that was a good challenging road there to learn to compete. I'd be bodybuilding stage competing. And to get on there, I always thought if I could just win a trophy, I would be happy with all this hard work. So they continued to push me on to do better. And eventually, I ended up winning 8 shows and winning Mr. North Carolina Supernatural in 1996 heavyweight division. And I retired at that as far as the competing aspect. So I felt, I went out the way I wanted to, and it was good as a drug tested show. And I was pleased to go out that way. It was a good experience. So that was kind of the nucleus of me starting this whole workout regimen and gaining self-confidence. And that was a big issue with me. I really didn't have a lot of confidence. That was my outlet for that. And then continued on with purchasing a gym, and then ended up purchasing another gym and sold another one, and ended up having 3 total, and ended up selling all of them. And so that's where me and April coming to Crossroads in Bessemer City with Sports Mill Gym, training there. So I sold everything as far as the fitness business because it was just running me crazy. And I got out, and then I said, you know what, I'm gonna go back. I think I'm gonna do personal training. That was my next move. And then that's how we met. And then a few years together, and relationship working was great because that's a key factor in this business. If you don't have somebody that can work together, if you have to work with another personal trainer or somebody in that setting, you got to have a good situation. So it did. It worked out good, and we had that going there at Sports Mill, and then it went from that. I said, I had a commercial building in Kings Mountain. I said, I just felt better if I could do my own thing in my own place. And so I branched out to what was Rick's Fit here, started off that, and then now April's flashing out the Revolutionary Fit, changed over last year when COVID hit. It was a chance for me to change over. The city had talked to me about changing over the business to the theme of, downtown Revolutionary War and the Revolutionary Fit. So that's kind of how it evolved for me to that. And I was fortunate enough to get April to finally come over because business continued to pick up. And so, for our journey, it ended up here finally twisting her arm to get her to come here. And it's turned out to be really good. A great situation. We're able to help a lot of people. Very passionate because we had to take a personal approach to what we do. We keep it small, it's private. And that continues to drive me from a personal standpoint as well, to be able to make a difference like this in the community when you get one-on-one helping people. So
yeah, Rick and I have a lot in common as far as goals go, and as far as our drive goes. We are both very diligent and specific type people. Somewhat a little OCD maybe.
Yeah.
We we share some personality traits, and so it's a good fit. And we just work very well together. It's just like there was about a year there where we didn't work together, but we did stay in contact, and he kept asking me, will you come, will you come, will you come? And so I visited as a guest in the gym a couple of times just to do class or whatever. And then he just texted me out of the blue one day. He's like, hey, you want to teach class?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm not really doing group stuff, but you know what? I'm stagnant. I'm not doing anything where I'm at. Yeah, sure. When do you want me to do it? He's like, how about this Wednesday? And this was on Monday.
Yeah.
So that's where it kicked off. I started teaching the class. He threw some clients my direction. He has really blown this opportunity door wide open for me. Just been very generous. And I just have so much to thank him for pushing me into having a successful experience. And, that's one of the things about being successful too, is surrounding yourself around the right people and staying in contact with those people, and always, just keeping your mind open to an opportunity that presents itself.
Wow, fantastic. There's 2 things in there that I want to kind of expound upon a little bit in what you said. The first one is confidence. I know that, Rick, you were talking about how you built up confidence when you were in school, and that kind of propelled you to start the gym and to start in some of the competitions. But that is probably what you instill in the most people that come through your door. Your job is to instill confidence in them. I mean, obviously they may or may want to get fit or lose weight or maybe put on muscle mass or something like that. But confidence is probably the number one thing that you have to do. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, great point there to illustrate is the fact that when people come in, they really are like I was. Sometimes it can be where I was skinny, it could be somebody overweight and just want to feel good about themselves. And we try to focus on the fact that it's just not about outwardly, it's inwardly. And as far as, yeah, if we look good on the outside, that's all I cared about. But at the end of the day, we see a lot of people that got a lot of health issues. And we try to help that from the inside out. Eventually, when they go through the process, that builds their confidence up. They feel better. They see things and that they can do they couldn't do before. And it's pretty exciting for us to get to be a part of that. And that's part of our passion and drive at individual training we do here in the private setting. We can guarantee those, success markers inside to outside, as far as their health markers, the blood pressure, cholesterol, things like that. We've seen people come off diabetic medications completely. Blood pressures go down, people losing weight. And at the end of the day, it goes back to what you said. The confidence factor is the key right there. And they gain a lot of confidence. And they continue to come because we're holding them accountable, but at the same time, they gain more confidence through that process. And that just makes everybody well-rounded, not just in the gym, but outside the gym. And I think that's the key in everyday life.
Yeah, I think so too. In working with other entrepreneurs, that's one of the first things that I notice is their confidence level. And that will determine immediately for me, where they're going to go with their business and what they're going to be able to accomplish. So I really like that. But there's another thing that you mentioned in April, you really talked about this a lot. It is personality. In business, when you're working with somebody else, a business partner, a coach, a mentor, an owner, whoever it could be, you've got to mesh well personality wise. So, April, why don't you expound upon that a little bit?
Well, you've got to have you've got to have a connection with somebody that you don't feel like intimidates you or is trying to push you into one direction or another differently than where you're wanting to go. I go a lot with my gut and my intuition. And it's hard to make yourself do something that you don't really want to do if deep down there's a drive for you to do something and you're feeding off of somebody that wants you to do something different, then you're going to fail at that because that's not what you want to do. However, you do have to keep your mind open to learning and gaining knowledge and developing yourself in different aspects, to be able to work with multiple types of people and stuff. So, that's a really hard question, Matt. I'm struggling with it just a little bit. But back to the thing about confidence, that is something that I do struggle with just a little bit. I don't always have a high confidence level, but being around people that push me to do what I really want to do and love help increase that. And when I'm in this zone, my confidence level soars, and I feel better. I build off of the excitement of the clients, seeing them, reach their successes and their different goals and hit their different numbers and things like that. My confidence gets built from Rick or other influential people that I've worked with over the years, really push me and encourage me to do things. So that helps me to relate to my clients and understanding where they're coming from in a lower confidence level. I can appreciate that. I don't ever try to, push them in a way that they don't want to be pushed because I don't appreciate that either.
Yeah, I think a lot of times when we work with individuals, it really has to come down to their comfort level and their comfort zone. And most of the time, even though you're there to help guide them, they have to be the one who makes the decision for themselves. You're there to kind of give them that little push and maybe kind of boost their confidence a little bit, but they have to ultimately be the one that makes that final decision that they're going to do something a little bit different. Well, I think you guys answered those questions very, very well. I know, April, you said you were stumped a little bit on that one, but what you had to say was fantastic, and they're great tools for entrepreneurs as well. So thanks for doing that. I've got one question for you that may be a little bit different for both of you, but what would be your average work day? I know, April, let's start with you. I know you work in financial services as well. So tell me a little bit about what you do during the day.
Okay, so I'm a registered licensed client service associate. What that means is I do have my securities license through a registered broker dealer, which is Raymond James Financial Services. I work for an independent financial advisor. His name is Chris Leeser in Gastonia. I've been doing that since 2005. So I have multiple licenses through that. So there's been a lot of education expansion through my job. Every day I just do general administration tasks, servicing clients, again, working one-on-one with individuals concerning their financial planning and their wealth and their, monetary well-being and stuff like that. So again, helping people on an individual basis. Mostly I do a lot of the service work for the office, technically kind of the office manager, but also I can place trades for securities and things like that. I help prepare the financial advisor for the meetings with the clients, preparing the portfolio review packets and different things, so just helping the office run smoothly mostly. But we are independent of the broker dealer. It's only my boss and I in the office. So, we both have high responsibility to keep our business running smoothly there also.
What about when you leave there? You go straight to the gym, or do
I
you?
do. So
Okay.
typical my job day is 9 to 5, and my fun day is 5:30 until. So when I say my fun day, that means that I leave work and I head to the gym. I either instruct a class or start a session at 5:30 and generally go to about 7 or 7:30. I may have 1 or 2 clients a day. I'm still building my client base. And I teach 2 classes a week here. I teach the circuit class on Mondays, and on Wednesdays I teach a floor class. Then I go home and spend some time with my family, cook a meal, sit down, eat, and maybe try to get in a little bit more work before I go to bed at night. So it's a full day.
Yeah, very busy day. How about you, Rick?
Like April, pretty busy. Teach school, and I didn't put that in there about the journey of life, more the fitness part. But as far as day to day, it'll be school from 8 to 3:30. I come back home, and then I'll start up either 4 or 4:30. It changes each day. At 4 o'clock, 4:30, I'm starting up training, getting the gym ready, and then we go all the way to 8 o'clock at night. And then I'll spend another hour of research, updating afterwards. So it'll go for me at least to 9 o'clock if I don't have to clean up at night.
Wow.
But
So
yeah,
both have super busy days,
yeah,
and just always keep them busy. That's one of the things that I love about what I do too. I always try to keep busy. Okay, well, you guys have given us great answers today, and hopefully it'll be something that our listeners will be able to take with them and learn from, and kind of help them start their own business, whether it be in the fitness field or any other field. I mean, what we've talked about today, the confidence, the personality traits, and things like that will be helpful for anybody. But before we go today, do you have any final tips for I mean, it took a lot of inspiration, a lot of gumption, I guess, um, to start these businesses and to kind of go out and do this where, a lot of people don't do that. So give us some tips that you might have for brand new entrepreneurs. What's one tip that you can leave them with today?
So I think I'm just going to leave with this. I'm going to just tell you that honestly, I don't consider myself successful or maybe successful yet. I consider myself to be someone who's constantly and continually learning and growing through education, self-development, experience, gaining knowledge from other people. And that's something that I'm doing, whether it be from individual successes, or making mistakes and learning as I go. I owe a lot to Rick and as well additional people that I've surrounded myself with. I wouldn't be here if Dawn and Derek didn't push me to get my certification. I wouldn't be here if Rick didn't push me to get my certification. Another trainer in Bessemer City, Houston, he pushed me to get my certification. Brad and Jessica Goins in Dallas opened their doors to me there. So I have a lot of influential people where I'm always gaining knowledge from them. And if I have one tip for anybody that is pondering, going into business for themselves, doing something they love, and I've already said this, and I'm just going to say it again, is to take the chance sooner. Just if there's any way, shape, or form that you can do it, just go, just do it.
Well, fantastic. I think I heard a couple of tips in there. One was surround yourself with the right people as well. You probably heard that you're usually considered the average of the 5 people that you're closest to. So I think that was a great tip. Plus the other one about don't take your time, just do it. Use the old Nike slogan.
Yeah.
How about you, Rick? What's one thing that that is a tip that you can leave people with today?
Well, I have a few, but I guess I won't bombard you with too many of them here. That I've learned it's really helped me the last probably 5 years. I guess to start with, try to condense it down to, being practical and understanding. So you got to surround yourself with successful people, and she is successful, by the way. She don't quite see it as much as I see it, but she's going to catapult from this to move on. And again, it's just it's hard when people on the other side, hearing us or seeing us, don't understand the passion and drive that she has that matches up, that can help and change so many people's lives. And that's why, you're really successful at that. And that's it. And it's hard to get that. That's what I'm saying. In a small place like this, you have to have a good working environment to be successful. So that's kind of an outlander to what I'm going to say to the part of practicality is what things I see. It's really helped me tremendously as an individual is in the morning, I try to take about 20, 30 minutes, just meditation time. It can be, a person can choose to do what they want to do as far as they want to read the Bible. I try to mix all that in together. I try to really settle my mind for about 30 minutes, usually that's what I average. So I can really focus on the day. And number 2, I do a planner that I have every night. I look at, I have to write stuff down. And that's really a great tool for me to continue to get things done. It seems like there's a million different decisions I have to make on a regular basis. And that's the key to having that planner and have it systematic so I can look at it. And then I'll meditate and I got to get that mind cleared. I can look at it and I can start my day off, be successful first thing in the morning. And again, the other things are, again, we talked about being around successful people. The other one I'd like to add to that is, it really helped me a lot, is going to Audible and listening to books of things I was passionate about. It was fitness and successful business actions and what I need to do to start, the right people to follow, and just one thing led to another. Like you refer back to a quote from Jim Rohn, and I like him. He's one of my favorites. And I started with those kind of motivational things. He really got me going. It completely changed my life. Jim Rohn was one of those individuals. he's got one that I love to death. He says, you don't have to be great to start, you just got to start to be great. So I think that's a great one from him. And I thought about that. I said, like April said too, and you said, you just got to start, get busy, but get around the right people, start trying to get all the knowledge you can get. Use Audible, because I don't like to read all the time, but I constantly work in my mind as much as I work my muscles. And that's continued to help me grow to the next level each time. Because you'll go stagnant if you don't. If you think you got it one time, you don't.
Yeah, I definitely do agree with that. I've been teaching and training for the last 24 years, I think, and I am constantly studying new material every day, every year, every month. I probably went through, even though I had about 100 and some seminars last year, I probably personally went through 15 of my own, learning from great marketers out there and what they're doing. And the Audible example is fantastic because I'm kind of like you. I don't read a lot. I think statistics say that the average great entrepreneur reads at least a book a week, 50 some books a year. And I'm way far from that, but I tell you, I listen to probably 5,000 videos a year. I mean, there is just constant information that's coming in. I've got right now probably about 10 different training packages that I'm going through, and I'm in constant mode of learning. It's really funny, when you go through school, that's the last thing that you want. You don't want to learn anymore. But then when you get involved in life, you realize that if you stop learning, you're in trouble and stuff. So you guys have been a pleasure today. Thank you so much for being here. Before we go, could you tell everybody how they can find you? What's the easiest way to get in touch with you?
Someone can find me on Facebook at April Lynn Franks. I could provide my personal information, my email address, aprillynfit@gmail.com. They can call me 704-689-2402.
And I'll put all this down in the comment section as well. But Rick, how about the Revolutionary Fit? How can we find it?
Well, I was going to say that too, just in case they ever don't get all the emails or whatever, and not bombard them with a lot of that. For me and April both too, if they'll just reach out to Revolutionary Fit, it's revolutionary-fit.com. If they just Google Revolutionary Fit, it's going to come up. Should be one of the first ones in this area. It'll come up, and our information contact is right there. Don't hesitate to call, reach out, and that'd be from me or April. And that way we can get back with you. And that's probably the simplest, fastest way to find either one of us.
Okay, well, fantastic. Thank you guys so much for being here today. If you are new to the Experts Game podcast, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you follow us. And we hopefully will be bringing you experts every month that you'll be able to pull some different tidbits of knowledge out of. Once again, April and Rick, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it and hope all of you have a fantastic day.
Thank you so much, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
Really
Enjoyed
appreciate it.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Lynn. I'm the producer.